Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you here, and I welcome you to the 2013 Peralta Classified Professional Development Day. This day was designed by your input that was sent out by the Peralta Classified Senate to classified staff to come up with a list of programs and workshops that would assist you in your job and things that you needed to be successful in your job. So the day was selected during spring break to have more of a maximum participation. As you can see, we have quite a crowd here. In fact, it's one of the largest assembly that we had in the past years of classified for a function of this nature. One of the things I would like to remind you, it's important that you sign in your registration sheet in the Theater H room. Also, we really want to have your input in the program for the day, for the workshops that you attend, and we hope that you can help inform us so that we can do a much better job the next time. At this time, I would like to take a moment to share with you a personal perspective I have of our Chancellor, Dr. Jose Ortiz. When we first shared this idea with Dr. Ortiz, the first thing he said was, "What can I do to help?" And help he did. He did an excellent job. He got buy-in from his Chancellor cabinet. Two members of that cabinet are presenting workshops here for us today. He has provided the lion's share for food and refreshment, for breakfast and lunch for you. Our college presidents are also beckon the call, and they also contribute for the refreshments for this activity. And so you should feel appreciated because when I asked, our responses were received with smiles and say, well, let me know what we can do to help. And we've had that same kind of input from my presidents and from the chancellor. And I've yet to see someone so active in the support of classified Senate and classified staff. So at this point in time, I would like to invite Dr. Ortiz to welcome you to this day's events. Dr. Ortiz.
Good morning, everyone. It really is a pleasure for me to be here today, and some of you may recall when I first arrived last summer, we had the called Flex Day, district-wide Flex Day. I had an opportunity to speak to you. Hopefully, many of you were in attendance. And at that time, I shared with you what I thought were the challenges that I saw facing the Peralta district. And, I talked about the different challenges at different levels. But at the end, to me, it was the mantra that I shared with you, which is that we needed to do the right thing and do things right. And that, to me, is what classified staff is doing by being here today. To me, you recognize that the classified staff is an integral part of our enterprise of teaching and learning. Many of you may not be in the classroom, but your support of what goes on in the classroom is critical. And by being here today, you recognize that we all have something to learn. We all have something to contribute. And in participating in, I guess, the workshops you have today and the presentations, you're going to be learning not only new facts, but certainly new skills that you can employ in your work. And of course, in the end, it's really about who we're here for, and that's our students. And last night at our board meeting, many of you know who Abel Guillén is. He's one of our trustees. He shared with the audience a quote, was one of his favorites. And I thought it was very appropriate to share it with you this afternoon, or actually this morning. I've been up a long time. To share with you this morning, because it really is apropos to what we do. And it goes like this. Students are the most important people on our campuses. Without them, there would be no need for us. Not a cold enrollment statistic, but flesh and blood. Human beings with emotions and needs for guidance. Not individuals to be tolerated as we go about our business. They are our business. Not totally dependent on us, but our jobs are totally dependent on them. Not an interruption to our work, but rather the purpose of our work. So when he shared that with us last night, I thought, that's what it's all about. It's about doing the right thing and doing things right for our students. I appreciate you being here because it shows to me your commitment to doing things differently, and in the end, doing things right. And I want to close by thanking the exec board of the Classified Senate. I want to thank James, Tim, Paula, and Paula, two Paulas. Anyway, thank you for being here. Have a great day, and I'm available by email. Thank you very much.
At this time, I would like to introduce our host president, Dr. Honora Webb. She too has shown outstanding support for this event and for classified staff. I thank her for her support, and just for let you know, she delayed her vacation plans so that she'd be able to welcome you to this activity. Dr. Webb.
I left my place this morning and I had on all black, and I said, I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm missing. And then I looked at myself in the mirror, I said, ooh, and then I put this on. Color, because I wanted to celebrate you. And I actually put on some red shoes. I said, that's a little bit too cheesy. I'll leave it like this. And the reason why I wanted to celebrate you, really as a compliment to our Chancellor, Dr. Ortiz, is because you're the lifeblood of this district. So much of what goes on is because of you, literally, at the front end and at the back end, if you will. At the front end, you go out and you make certain that the community knows that they're welcome in this district, that they're welcome at our colleges. At the other end, you make certain that those extraordinary smiles, unwavering commitment ensures our students are, as Dr. Ortiz, successful. Successful. You are critical at every step of the process. It's not just a series of inputs and outputs and throughputs in between. It's really humanity personified. That's what you're all about. When I think about this week, I think about Lent. I think about Passover. I think about celebrating Easter and all that that means. I think about Cesar Chavez, who we, thank goodness, are one of few organizations locally that celebrate his birthday on Friday. I think about that man because he so well personified what a lot of our youth, young adults, and older adults have experienced. A lot of disconnects in their lives. That man, do you know he experienced more than 20 schools before he became 18 years old because of the movement of his parents in order to ensure some sustaining of their lives as migrant workers, and that inspired him to be a leader. Like you, I'm sure, as a compliment to the lives of our students, you've experienced a myriad of wonderful challenges and those that you wish you never had. And you rose. And still you, as Maya Angelou would say, rise. So as I think about all those things that are happening this week, that allows us to reflect and appreciate who we are and our contribution, it was easy for me to say to James, I'm going to be here, because I wanted to demonstrate my appreciation for each one of you. You're why we're effective. You're why excellence is actualized. You're why our core values are demonstrated and become replete throughout the district, at each one of our colleges, and the district office. James Blake, I want to thank you for being a voice of reason, even when individuals, including myself, disagree with you. I value the fact that you are comfortable in your skin, at least most of the time, and that you tell me like it is. And I want to emphasize, even when I disagree, because it's not about agreement, it's about coming up with solid perspectives based upon facts and using data to inform what we do. And there's no one person who would say, I know it all. And you demonstrate that it's not about knowing it at all. It's about using intelligence to inform a way forward. And the degree to which we're able to have more of all of us function in a way that is replete with integrity, we ensure a more viable institution that our chancellor is leading with the board. So I want to thank you for your respectful engagement, your collaboration. And I want to thank you, Paula's and Tim, for caring to join arms with him, and by way of connecting with the rest of us through the classified leadership in this district, every individual who's a classified staff, aiding us in moving forward. It's my honor.
Thank you for both Dr. Ortiz and Dr. Webb for your comments this morning. They're quite encouraging, and it'll help us frame the environment in which we're going to gather and capture those tools we get out of the workshops we're going to this afternoon. At this point in time, briefly, I would like to introduce our executive officers of your Peralta Classified Senate. And they'll just address you briefly. Tim Bryce.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Timothy Bryce. I work at Merit in the custodial department. I've been with Peralta about 20 years. My first 5 were here at Laney, and I've been up at Merit for the last 15. And right now, I'm your interim vice president for your Peralta Classified Senate. Interim, James is the interim president, and we're both interim because our last president actually moved on to Laney College, and we wanted to make sure we kept this going. So besides being your interim vice president on the Classified Senate, I'm also a Laney College Classified Senator. I was president there for a couple of years. I'm also involved in the College Council there. Once a month on Friday, I go to the Planning and Budgeting Council at the district. And now I just become the EEOC, well, Local 39 rep on the EEOC committee. Actually, it's a task force to get our EEOC standards up to date. And I'm saying all that not to pat myself on the back, it's just to say I need some help. We need help. Because besides that, I'm also a steward for Local 39, and I got really involved in that because I wanted to be able to reach out to all my constituents, because we do a lot of work behind the scenes at night, whether it's, the custodians, the electricians, the engineers, our groundskeepers, so people you don't see all the time. So being in a position where I can see them and talk to them and pass on information to them, that's what I want to do, because I want to know what's going on. I know I got involved with the Planning and Budgeting Council because I wanted to know, a lot of questions people have was, where is the money going? Well, that's how I would find out. Being on that council, you find out where's the money. You follow the money. And I have to say with our Vice Chancellor Gearhart, who's been on, I think, about 3 years, we've seen a dramatic improvement in our finances. A lot more shared governance, things have been a lot more transparent, and that's what we were looking for as classified. We want to know what's going on. We don't necessarily say it out loud, but we want to be able to have as much access and as much knowledge of things as faculty do. Faculty have basically what's called a faculty obligation number. They have a certain number of faculty they're supposed to have. That's set by the state for a certain amount of faculty for your district or for your campus. But there's no such thing that we know of for classified. And that's something that we're working on, because we know there are certain numbers. We all know that we're doing a lot more than we should because we don't have enough positions. But that time, I think, is behind us. We should be looking forward where they're going to start adding new positions. I think there are supposed to be 5 classified coming up in the near future. And there are other instances at your campuses where there are positions that have not been hired. And we want to try to change that. So we're looking at trying to get numbers from the state, district numbers to try to, district numbers, and also national numbers to find out how many people we need to do the job. Because that way we can do the best job possible and serve our students in the best way we know how. And that's what we're here for. So I'm glad to see you here. Hope you have a good day and take in everything you can. Thank you.
Tim, you're supposed to be brief. Hi, I'm Paula Armstead. This is too big for me. I'm the classified president at College Alameda. Shout out to all the College Alameda people. Hey. I'm so happy. First of all, my job today was to thank everybody, to thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate the support, and to bring light that this is the Senate. There's Molly Seelan. Are you in the building? If you are, please stand. Molly is an integral part of the Senate as well. There's literally 5 of us. So we hope that today that you guys are encouraged to actually join Peralta Classified Senate, because we're here for you and we really need the help. We need the support. Housekeeping, because I am the secretary of Peralta Classified Senate. You all have the yellow forms. Please fill those out. Those are evaluation forms. We want to know how we did so we can keep doing things like this. We want to make this event an annual event because we matter. That's the title of this event. Dr. Webb said it beautifully when she said, we are humanity personified, and that's what we do. We serve the students. Most of them only know classified, really deal with classified staff. So today, we really hope that you come out of here knowing that you are important. You're important to Peralta. You're important to the organization. So please help us in support. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is a really special gathering. I've met some people today where I only knew the name. Now I have a face with the name. I've seen people see each other who haven't seen each other in a while. It's kind of like a reunion. It's very nice. I'm really happy that you're here. Thank you for being here. I wanted to take my couple minutes to do a little something and share with you. I'm going to echo a bit what others have already said, and we did come up with this title, Classified Matters, and you can look at that a number of different ways. I'm going to assume that all of us in this room know that we matter, though our experience sometimes may contradict that feeling. But before I even do that, we had the shout out for College of Alameda. Let's just wave hands if we're College of Alameda people. I think it's good to see this. All right. How about Merritt? Who's here from Merritt? Yes. All right. How about BCC? Laney College? Woo! And the district office? Yes. All right. And there's like a half dozen folks up in the balcony as well. I didn't even know there was a balcony here. Hello. So, when we think about organizations and we think about organization charts, what do we usually see? I went yesterday on our district website and I printed out the Peralta, oh, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. The Peralta organizational chart. I thought I would get one page, but I actually got several pages. There we go. And these charts are important you guys, I know it's a little hard to see, but you know, it's the basic hierarchy, right? And these are important. They show lines of responsibility, lines of authority, but there are things that are missing. They're implied. Students are implied, meaning they're not named here, right? Staff are implied, faculty on some level are just implied, and the larger public. There's representatives in different areas. But essentially, the org chart of this type leaves some things out, I would say. What I wanted to just take a moment to do is to look at a different kind of visual. I'll just put it there. So the idea, if we had concentric circles and we thought about our reality, our day-to-day reality in the organization in a little bit different way, and we had student learning at the center. Students are at the center, but it's really student learning, and the learning happens in the classroom, certainly, but it happens outside the classroom a lot. How do I navigate this educational environment? How do I study? I mean, there are a lot of different steps that all of us, when we connect with students or we're doing our piece to support student learning, that piece really matters. So if we had student learning at the center, like, who would be in this next layer of the circle? Staff and faculty, right? And if we kind of move on our way out, we would have maybe campus administration. I mean, you get the idea, right? If we think about it in concentric circles. And all of these layers matter. But part of what happens, and I don't think I'm the only one that would validate this. You can let me know maybe by. So when decisions are made, sometimes if we don't have a lot of input, we don't have a lot of shared governance, the decisions might be made at a certain layer where the people who are, I don't like this term, but the end users or the people who are closest to what's going on the ground, how things are actually going to happen, their input might not really be as considered or as sought out or as integral as it could be or should be, I would say. And if we think this way a little bit more, most likely we're going to make better decisions to have that connection. Is what I'm saying make sense? Great. So, I just want to say too that, these kind of org charts and not necessarily including the folks that are closest to students and student learning, that's not unique to us here in the East Bay or in California. That's probably typical across the country, if not the world. So we could really transform our own experiences by thinking about our roles a bit differently, by engaging a bit more, by encouraging our whole organization to think a little bit more in terms of concentric circles and how we're all connected. So thank you all. I'm Paula from BCC, by the way. I don't think I even said that. Thank you.
We're running a little over time because we started a little late, but let me see if I could sum up in the keynote what's really important. When you look at the definition of matters in the dictionary, it says it has importance, it makes a difference. We can also say that it's essential or critical. Well, in regards to what? And you will see that the theme that I'm addressing is consistent with what was spoken before. To the success of our mission to serve students in the Peralta Community College District. Yes, classified staff matters. We are a diverse group of classified professionals, directors, managers, confidentials. We have child care workers, instructional support staff, student service support, categorical, operational support, general services support, administrative support staff, engineers, groundkeepers, IT staff, custodians, and on and on and on. We have worked hard during some challenging times and situations, but we have persevered for classified matters. We are important. Our clientele, our Peralta students, leave us after completion of their time with us to secure our future. When we work collectively, together, for the same purpose, we have an impact on our society for decades. Do you understand that? There are students that go through our system that become our future leaders, become doctors, lawyers, become paralegals, become construction workers, public works, you name it. Their impact is profound. So we have a tremendous influence on our future. But do we realize that? Oftentimes we will say, well, I really have little impact. I beg to differ with you. You have tremendous impact. Just think of the opportunities you have to engage in students, to encourage them, to do your job well and see the impact of you doing your job well. One of the reasons why I feel very good about engaging in shared governance, because it gave me a global perspective. Well, what do I mean when I say global perspective? I begin to see how all of us are integrated together. None of us can survive by ourselves, for ourselves. Every job that you do is critical to our mission. Every job that we do is critical. You matter. Do not diminish, whatever your classification of what your job description is, your importance to this institution, to this community. You matter. I had the occasion through my engagement in shared governance to even speak on behalf of education to our state assembly woman, Skinner. That happened a year ago. It's one thing I gathered from that interchange. She says, you know what? You know, a lot of people think that hiring lobbyists coming up here and talking to us helps us. It really doesn't. She says, they can't capture your passion. They can't capture your truth because you live it every day. You see how our decisions are manifest in education. We need to hear from you. We need to hear from you. You know what surprised me? A year later, I just happened to run into her at another function. She came to me. She says, hey, you're James, right? And I said, wow, I guess I do matter. Oftentimes we think that we cannot move mountains, but you'd be surprised if you would only take that first step to engage what you can accomplish. The need is for many of you to step forward and to support not only in your job, but in our mission in terms of coming up with good ideas to help improve how effective we are in serving our clientele, our students. I often think about us as a human body. We all make up the body. We all have specialized functions that we must maintain, otherwise the body dies. Not one individual organ can survive without the rest of it. We matter. We are essential. We are critical. So today, think about how you can improve what you do, because your improvement will magnify the impact on this institution. It's a game changer. Now, if I would have stayed in my job and did just my job description, didn't engage in shared governance, I would have never come to that realization. It has helped me to see things from an administrative perspective, from faculty's perspective, from the district office perspective. It has helped me to, when I think of recommendations or ideals, to keep everyone in mind in terms of the impact, with the primary one in terms of how does it impact our students. It has motivated me to speak before the board, to share some of my feelings and passions for students and what we do and how we do it. It is the Peralta Classified Senate hope that you would take this opportunity we have today to acquire tools that will help us perfect our craft. It is our hope that during these workshops that you can enrich one another by seeing how we are connected and integrated in our significance. So I want you to share your thoughts and your experiences and concerns. Get to know your colleagues from around the district. And oftentimes, we find that we cannot do this all on our own. Personally, I work in the copy department, IMC, Instructor Media Service for faculty. I make copies. I'm also responsible of adhering to copyright guidelines. When I first got here, I was not a popular guy. But one thing I realized was by being professional, I garnered the support and understanding of the faculty. They were my most challenging customers. One of the things that I've also realized, and it's just due to the way I conduct my business, is that I'm always trying to be professional. I realize I'm not here to like everyone. That's not always possible. But I'm here to work in a professional basis with professional principles. And I had an experience where there was an unpleasant encounter with someone, and I dealt with it, hopefully in a professional way. And the person kept coming back because they needed the services. One thing the person said to me was that, you know, James, I have to get over whatever feelings I have towards you because it seems like you've gotten over it. And the issue was that I treated this person the same way I treated them before the incident and after the incident. It was a first come, first served basis. That's my only rule. You don't cut in line. Once you're next, then you have all my attention. And I give you the same level of service no matter what. My friends realize that too because they say, hey, James, I know you, so you're not first. I can get to you when you're next. And so hold on. And so it's an interesting experience, but it helped me to appreciate that this is not a personal endeavor that we have. We should not be creating barriers that will impede our ability to serve this institution in this community or to serve one another. We should be breaking down those walls. We should be helping and supporting each other to perfect our craft, our profession, what we do, how we serve, so that we can impact our future. You have a splendid opportunity as classified to shape the future in the Bay Area. Will you take it? It is our hope that you recognize the importance of shared governance at your sites and engage. And lastly, I'd say this again, please support your colleagues, knowing that we all matter. We are Peralta. Thank you.
Now give it up for my dish. This job. Now give it up.